Alright, let's jump into this one. We got a 5.3 Vortec motor. This is Chevy General Motors. It's going to cover Sierras, Tahoes, Silverados. It's in a lot of models through a lot of years. I want to say you can go back to like 96. But let's start this up. So we're going to go by removing the cover. Be the first thing we want to do. Start making some room. Get the air compressor. Start cleaning it up. Leaf blower will even work, whatever you have to kind of start getting stuff out of the way, because once you expose your engine, you want to make sure it's as clean as possible. Now you can't really see it right here, but there's a bracket on top that I'm loosening up, and I'm going to get that out of the way. That's going to allow you to get that wiring harness and move it to the side, give you a little bit of room to get the valve cover out of the way. Now, once we have that done, we're going to disconnect this bracket, and this little harness is just one connector, so you just pull the safety tab out, lift up on the front, pull down and lift up, it'll come right off. Tuck that right behind the fuel rail, and with the rest of the wire, there's these little tabs you can just pop up, and you just want to get those out of the way. You'll be able to get that entire bracket off with all the injectors connected by just removing those bolts I pointed out. So at this point, you'll see we have, I believe they're 10 millimeters. You want to get those out. I've already removed 2, so we'll take these last 3 out. I'll put the swivel head on it just to make it a little easy, because there's a bracket you kind of go around right here. So swivel head will make that a little bit easier on you, but you can do it with whatever tools you have as long as you can reach it. So at this point, once I have it loosened up, I'll be able to reach in, pull it right off the little mounting bolts it's on, and that's the way you're going to know it's in the right spot when you put it back. Get the air compressor back out. We're going to blow it down again, get it as clean as possible. And at this point, if you can't get the valve cover off once you loosen these bolts, so you'll see they go straight down the middle. Taking them off, it doesn't really matter the pattern, but when you go back, make sure you start in the center and work your way out, left, right, right, left. And that'll help you get that valve cover down nice and easy. But like I was saying, if you can't just pull it off, you take all the bolts, loosen them up, and the valve cover just seals on there. What I would do is get these little frame tools. You can pick them up at Harbor Freight. You'll see I'm using one right here. You can put it in between and get that to break it free. I wouldn't use a metal screwdriver on the aluminum heads, just because that's going to put a divot in, and that could ruin the seal between the new gasket. So again, I would use plastic. You could put some tape or something on your screwdriver if that's all you have, but I definitely would take some type of measure to make sure you don't damage that surface between the valve cover and the heads. So right here, that arrow is just pointing out your PCV. On this model, it is inside of the valve cover. It's not its own separate valve that you can just buy. Some of them do have that separate PCV valve, but this one, it's in the cover, so just make sure you get that cleaned out while you're cleaning these covers off. So inside, you'll see it right there, that little hole on the very top. And with the gasket, I'm just pointing out that it will kind of line itself up. The bolt holes will only match up on each gasket, so there is going to be a left and a right. Putting it back, just reverse what you did in the start. You'll line it up, make sure your gasket doesn't fall out. You don't want to start screwing it in with a piece of your gasket hanging out on any of the edges. So just make sure all that's sealed up before you go through and tighten everything down. You want to take a good look around the edges itself. If you notice, this is the opposite side of the vehicle. So it is going to be the same, no difference. I just didn't have the rest of the video.